Kevin Choe, how are you?
What's up? How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing good. It's good to
Man,
see you.
your name's been popping around in the last like 3 months. Your name's just going around the street.
I can say the same about you.
Yeah, once in a while.
Yeah, you're doing a really good job. And I wanted to start off by talking about how you are super young and you have gotten a lot of success early on. And I am curious of what made you choose real estate. You got in like pretty much out of high school, right?
Yeah. I'm 23 years old right now, so I joined when I joined as soon as I turned 20, basically straight out of high school, because I graduated high school in 2019, and I went to community college for like 3 to 4 weeks. And then I'm like, you know what? Like I just can't do this anymore. The straw that broke my back was I had a 3 hour history class every Tuesday from like 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that was like my traumatic class. I went there for 2 weeks, two classes. And I was like, you know what? I'm done with this. If I have to do this like for the next 4 years, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
So 20, 3 to 4, almost 4 weeks, almost a month into my community college, I'm like, what can I do? What can I do to not be here? And the only thing that I really thought about was just getting into real estate, because when I did my own research,
Mhm.
there's nothing you can do without a college degree other than real estate, or at least that's the one, or at least that's what I found.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been in real estate for the last 3 years, going into my fourth year, and the rest is history. I did a bunch of stuff though, like along the way.
Yeah. Did you immediately get sub two, or did you start doing stuff on your own?
So I actually, not many people know about this, but when I was living in California, I started real estate when I was in California. I actually got my license. Like
Oh
nobody
wow,
knows this. Yeah, like I actually passed my license test, and I was like about to sign with a brokerage to to be with them. And then as soon as I
wow.
was, and then like the few weeks before that, I actually got into, I was just kind of doing my own YouTube university kind of thing, and I ran into Max Maxwell about wholesaling, and
Mm,
right there and then I'm like, yo, hold on, let's put a pause on this agent side of things, because I don't want to be a slave to anyone. Like the whole reason why I'm even getting into real estate is not only because I didn't want to go to school, was because I wanted to be my own boss. And when you're an agent and you're depending on somebody to go buy the house, or you're depending on somebody to go sell their house, you're just an employee at that point, right?
yeah.
So I put a pause on it, and I did wholesaling for about a year just by myself. Like I actually did wholesaling without even a coach, and I probably done like 4 deals at that point, and and then that's when I got into Subto, because it was getting a little tougher.
Yeah. Needed some community around you.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, you saved yourself a lot of time taking the path of wholesaling versus real estate agent. I did the opposite. I started wholesaling and then I got my license and was like, I'm going to go be an agent. And I did that full time for a while and I did fine at it, but it definitely is a job and it's not as fun as dealing with investors and having more free time on the investing side.
right.
So glad you learned that early on. You you lived in California, and when I met you in person for the first time, we had a long chat about moving out of your hometown.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk a little bit about that, the mindset behind it, what it did for you. Do you feel like that was a good move? Do you feel like a lot of young people should consider moving out of their hometowns?
Yeah. So when was a lot? When did we have this conversation? This had to be the mastermind. So like April, May.
Yeah, it was like April or May.
Yeah, and your boyfriend and I, we had a like at least 2 hour conversation about this. But I moved
Mhm.
out of my parents' house in last year January, so I'm going into my second year of just moving into Arizona by myself. And when you move out there's so many benefits to moving out of your hometown. And number one being number I think number one benefit is like you get to start all over again. You get to recreate the life that you want to live. You get to recreate that avatar of like, hey, Kevin Cho is gonna be this going forward, and nobody else has a determined notion of who you are, right? So like
Yeah.
back in home, I used to play drums for, professionally and at church and all that stuff. And when you move out of that, when you move to a completely different hometown, that identity you can leave behind, and you can start something completely brand new.
Yeah.
So starting something brand new was probably the biggest thing for me, because when I was and when I was back in California, I couldn't really talk about real estate because most people if my old friends saw me doing real estate, it's very awkward. It would be very weird for them to see me. And so that's number one. And I think number two is finances, right? Like there's nothing more traumatizing than moving out of your parents' house for the first time, and you are now financially on your own.
Yeah. Yeah. So were there a lot of fears? Were you like, am I gonna make it? Or were you pretty confident and like, I'm gonna do this, I got this on my own? Or did you have some fears that were lingering?
uh, I was pretty confident.
Yeah.
I was pretty confident, and not only not because of my ability to make money in real estate. Like I haven't really made a lot of money in real estate at that point, but I did. I was I've always figured my way out, right? So like I told you earlier, I played drums professionally, right? I I wanted to play drums professionally, so I practiced for the freshman, sophomore, and junior year to have a spot at my senior year in my high school. And I ended up figuring it out, right? Like I ended up figuring all these things out. So it had nothing to do with real estate, but it just had to do with the fact that I know how to figure it out when it comes time to it.
Yeah. Do you feel like moving really helped you skyrocket personally, business wise, and all of that? Do you feel like you'd be in a different spot today if you stayed in California?
Yeah, I'll be in a totally different spot if I was in California right now. Number one, I wouldn't even have the friends that support what I do, right? Like, how many times I had friends that straight up from church watching me do real estate, and they were like bothered by it, like to stop posting about this stupid real estate thing. And but then once I moved out, the finance part of it is like when you have backs against the wall like that, it's really hard for you to um, fail. You
Yeah.
know, I remember the first. I moved in January, so I remember the first like 2 or 3 months. I was like literally not even closing any deals, and I literally moved out with like probably $3,500 in my bank account, and I was living off of a credit card. You know, I'm like, okay, I just got to make $1,600 because that was my rent at that time, and I could try to live off of $200 on food. So like my number is like, okay, $2,000 is a number for me.
Yeah.
And and the fear of not wanting to move back to my parents' house and having to get a job, it really motivates you to go move forward in your career.
Yeah. How long did it take you to really start getting traction once you moved?
uh I mean, I'll say like real, like if you want to talk about real good traction, like 2023, like this year alone, I made really good traction. But it probably took me solid 6 months to get traction in my business.
Yeah.
Um, but then at the same time, I was trying out so many different things at the same time, where like I couldn't focus on one thing. So I never really grew. I never really built up my traction. I built my traction in so many different things, but then nothing really penciled out.
Yeah. So then you really started building your business on direct to agent, low equity. Is that right?
Yeah, beginning of
What
this year.
what made you go that path? Like what made you feel like agents were your thing? And I mean, I get the low equity, right? We're in sub two, but what made you feel direct to agent was your thing?
Like before I even got to the direct to agent side of things, I had I had done so many things. Like I've done foreclosures. I used to be a foreclosure expert before you even joined. I used to work was foreclosure. I used to door knock. I used to go on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. I got a lot of deals off my Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. I did a lot of JV deals. I did wraps. But then, but then what? One But then I had what really got me into the no equity side of things was when this was like October of last year, so like almost just a little over a year ago. I get a call from Diana, who's a local wholesaler, right? So like she lives here in Arizona, and I met her in meetups a couple times, and we exchanged numbers. And I tell her, hey, I focus on a lot of Subto deals. I'm a creative finance guy, right? Because you want to brand yourself with that in any market that you're in. So this Diana comes to me, hey, I got this homeowner in Yuma, Arizona, and she goes, I don't think she can sell this house. She owes way too much on the house. And I said, what? Like, what do you mean she owes way too much? I'm like, I don't know. Can you just hop on the phone call with her? So I hop on the phone call with her husband, and yeah, with her, me, and just her wife. And the situation was that the husband and the wife was going through a divorce in Yuma, Arizona, and but the problem is they're trying to sell the house. They're trying to sell this house so that they can move on with their lives. But they bought the house 3 months ago using their VA loan because the husband used to work in the Marines, and now he can't sell that. Now they can't sell this house because they owe like 350 on the house, and they're trying to sell the house for 360. So like, which is the reason why they had the house as a for sale by owner, because they knew they couldn't afford the listing agent commission. They could only afford the buyer's agent commission. So they were really trying to come out of pocket. They really didn't have a lot of money to come out of pocket. So they tried selling the house on FISBO, and I came in and I said, okay, well, how about this? How about I give you guys $2,500 each? So instead of you barely cutting a check, I'll give you the wife and the husband $2,500, and I'll come in and take over the mortgage payment. And like right there and then, that was probably the easiest Subto deal I've ever done. There was no pushback. Nobody else was competing on it, right? Like there were other wholesalers that were offering like $270,000 for the house, and obviously that's not going to work out. So, and I came in within 2 phone calls, I closed the deal. And then I end up, and then that house, I took the payment on the house was 1460, and I have the house rented out for like 1850 right now, still to this day. And I'm like, how can I replicate more of this kind of situation? Which is the reason why about a year ago that came about the no equity list, and oh my gosh, like literally that list blew up. Everybody's going after it right now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome, and I
It
got
is
out of it
awesome.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you mentioned brand there. I do want to talk about building a brand and what that's done for you and how important you feel that that is, because you have done a great job at building a brand for yourself. And I was looking at your YouTube yesterday and I was like, dang, this dude has 5,000 subscribers. That's really awesome. So I feel like that's hard to get on YouTube, at least in my personal opinion. So I think you've done a really good job at that, and I just want to talk a little bit about like mindset behind that, how you feel about brand, how important it is, all of that.
yeah. So this is brand, right? What I think is brand is people knowing what you do and they bring you deals. They know what you look at Pace Morby, right? Like, I look up to him so much. He's branded himself as a creative finance guy, and there's nobody else that can come remotely even close to where he's at, right? That's branding. And when you have a brand, so like for example, myself, my brand is creative finance, no equity, Subto, right? Gator lending, like that. It's like what words pop up when you say Kevin Cho, right? Like that's my brand.
Yeah.
And I've and YouTube is a place where I'm like really focusing my growth on, because I want my YouTube audience to know, like, hey, I want you to watch my videos and watch my free content and bring me deals on what I'm looking for, because I talk about it all the time. So um, brand, my entire business is off of branding at this point.
Is most of your deals from JV just people knowing who you are and bringing you stuff?
Yeah, yeah, I'll say 80% of it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I it's I mean, there's 20% of our deals still come from our direct to seller. I still have my direct to seller operation going, but in comparison to, it's like when you have a brand and you have, you know hundreds of people going out and getting deals for you, versus you have like five people that will call for you and they bring deals for you. Like the amount of deal flow when you have a brand and when you don't have a brand is just not any difference.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's so important, and yeah, Pace was a really great example of that. I mean, a Sub 2 community is built based off of the brand that he's made for himself, so and
Yeah.
of course, encourages everyone in there to build their own brand. So yeah, you're doing an awesome job at that. Is there any like mindset hurdles you've had to go through along the way, especially just coming from more of like a negative community in California and then changing up your entire life essentially? What mindset shifts or hurdles have you gone through to help you get to where you're at now?
uh I mean, there's the biggest mindset shift really changes when you have group of people that you hang out with and that you vibe with, right? So for example, um, like do you, I see your name all the time in the last 3 to 6 months, right? And you're doing a great job of branding. And like, do you ever feel like I don't know if I should post about real estate and I'll have my old college, high school friends see it, right? I think the right a little bit.
I did at first for sure. It was definitely yeah, it was definitely at first. Now I'm just kinda like, I don't care, like, I know what I'm doing, but at first, it was definitely a bit of that fear.
Right, right, right. So for me, my mindset really shifted, and you can see the progression of my mindset change throughout step two, right? Because I joined 3 years ago.
Mhm.
My mindset really changes when I started hanging out with people in step two. When you hang out with people that wants to better themselves, wants to work on themselves, that wants to make more money, that wants to whatever, you really have the mindset is really not an issue, right? The only I think the mindset is more what people put on you than what it is within you, personally.
Yeah, I like that.
So yeah.
Mhm. So besides mindset, what skills do you feel like have been essential in building your business and building your brand?
One skill set that I'm really learning right now is storytelling,
Mm,
because yes, there's if I just say what I ate for lunch today, let's just say, you could literally say, "Oh, I had In and Out for lunch," but versus if you make a story out of it, like, "Hey, like I walked down the stairs and we went to In and Out, and dude, when I was at In and Out, bro, this burger was like blah blah blah." Like I wanna be able to captivate other people's attention by becoming a better storyteller. So I think one skill set that I'm really learning is becoming a better storyteller. Every time I talk to a seller, like I literally had a while I was walking back, I was on the phone call with the seller trying to explain why hybrids is a way to go for them. And they're like, I don't understand why I would want to take $300 a month for the next 10 years. Well, here's the reason why, because you and then I'll go off and tell the story as to why it would benefit them.
yeah.
So and now he's like, oh, I perfectly understand. Okay, well, let me think about it, right? Versus if I were to tell them straight up, hey, these are the facts, it's not really going to sell him on anything. So that's one skill I'm learning right. One skill I'm learning right now is just becoming a better storyteller.
Yeah. Are you reading any books for that, or are you just practicing, like, on seller calls? Or I mean, I really feel like storytelling, like you used the burger situation, storytelling can transfer to all aspects of life, not just necessarily talking to a seller or an agent, but it can make every conversation more colorful and more, better for the end listener.
Right, right. So I'm not reading a book for storytelling, but what I am doing is I carefully listen to other people's interviews. Like so, like one is I like to listen to Pace's interviews with other people because he's a
Mhm.
phenomenal storyteller, and I would like kind of like write take notes on what kind of story he's telling and how he's delivering it, right?
Yeah.
Like from going down to like what words did he use, why did he place certain words in this scenario, how is what's the dynamic with this interviewee and interviewer, and then how does he say these things, like does he say fast, what's his speed, does he slow down here and like pick up the speed when he needs to, right? Like
Yeah.
those things I'm like scientifically bringing it down.
Yeah. I like that. That's something that I'm constantly working on too, and it definitely just takes a lot of practice. I don't think that anyone is a perfect storyteller. I feel like that's a skill that you'll always keep sharpening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that a lot. I want to talk about. I've seen you just post and stuff about how your team has grown and your role within your business has grown a lot. What does your team structure look like, and what people have you had to bring in to help grow your business?
Yeah, so most people think I actually have a lot of people a lot of people on my team, and I do, but not for my like real estate side of things. So I have a full time partner, and I have a partner named Lorraine, and and what she does is she does dispos for other people's deals, right? So she sells creative deals for other investors like you, and Myron, whatever.
Mhm.
So I have one partner, and that's her full time. That's all she does, or she does way more than that, but that's like her main role. And then I have one other person that does. His name is Ryan, and he does all my J videos. So whenever people come to me saying, Kevin, can you help me with this deal? I say call Ryan because I am not available at the moment. So I have two people on my real estate side, like on my wholesale business, right? And then I have a transaction coordinator full time. I pay her a salary every single month, and they take care of all my transactions. So those three people really run my team, right? So like people bring deals to Ryan, people bring deals to Lorraine, and then my transaction coordinator takes care of all the paperwork. So on my real estate side of things, I would say there's only three people. And then I have a partner in midterm rentals that I buy houses with, and that's one partner. So that's one partner, and then I have I have a CFO that manages my money, and I have a full time bookkeeper. So it's very small team, but it's a very like a high caliber, high performing team.
Yeah. Do you have anyone that's helping you run the Gator side of things, or is that something that is that integrated into the wholesaling business?
Yes and no. Yes, it is integrated, but I put a lot of time and effort into just that business by myself.
Yeah.
But I run that whole business by myself because it's not something that I need. I want to bring in a partner for, right? So for that business, I am in the process of hiring a VA, and her full time job is to go find opportunities for me. That's going to be her full time job.
Yeah. How have you been? So I'm in Gator and I haven't been very active. I do want to start Gator lending.
Uh-huh.
And I'll be honest, I thought that it would be a lot easier to find those opportunities than it is. And I mean, not that I'm like looking for it full time or anything, but I am curious how you've built such a consistent business out of Gator lending.
So this is the thing about Gator lending is you don't really have to have a lot of people that you lend money to, because once and number one myth is you don't ever have to sell money. Like do you ever convince people to take your money? Like you don't. Like people, money sells itself. Like if a problem comes and you have the money, like they'll borrow the money from you. So number one, you don't ever have to feel like you have to go and sell this, sell yourself a product, which is money. And number two is you don't have to have a lot of people that you consistently lend money to. I think in my entire lending business, I've probably lent to 6 people total. Like over the 40 plus deals of the 40 plus lending deals I've done, I probably only lend that to 6 different people, and only four of them were like consistently coming back, and the other 2 was like onesie twosie here and there. So you just need to find that one person. You just need to find that two people that you can consistently give money to, and you use that as catalyst, and you talk about it on your social media, and you get other people to come and reach out to you for money.
Yeah,
That's a strategy.
it's more so like from your brand, right? Because I see you post about Gator all the time, and when I think about Gator, I think about you because I see you post it all the time, which is part of your brand, right?
Right.
So that's interesting. I
Yeah.
like Earn Mo Choe.
Earn more with Choe. So yeah, that's not. I have a podcast that I plan on launching before the end of the year, and I made a story on my Instagram.
Oh, is this what it's gonna be?
No, it's not. It's just gonna be Kevin Choe Show.
I like that. I think that it has a ring to it.
Yeah, I want people to remember me, Kevin Choe.
Yeah. Is it gonna be like real estate focused, business focused? What's your goal with it?
My goal with it is just focus on real estate for now, but it will definitely venture off. Which is the reason why I didn't want to box myself into like real estate with Kevin, because now at that point I can only talk about real estate. But versus if it's just Kevin Choe is the name of the podcast, I can talk about anything.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I was coming up with the name. I was like, I don't want it to be something specific because if I'm going to continue this, you obviously want it to grow with you and grow with the different ventures that you're in. So,
right. And
what?
you grow so quick too.
What?
And you outgrow your expectations way too quick.
Yeah.
Like, at one point, like in no time, you're gonna start having affiliate income. You're gonna start having a YouTube channel, and which you already do. But you don't want to box yourself in too early.
Right.
Yeah.
What is your long-term vision? Like you've obviously gained a lot of success at a young age. What's your vision for the future? Where do you plan to take all this? What's your long-term goals?
Uh, so that's the tough part is because I goals that I thought was long term goals, it ended up becoming a short term goal. I hit it like way too earlier on. Like one of my big goal was I want to make 10 grand in affiliate income, like affiliating for other people's products, and I hit that really quickly. Like I hit that like it just last month, right? Or I probably hit it this month. I got really close last month, but like my vision. So my vision for 2024 is I want to keep the wholesale operation where it's at. I don't necessarily want to grow it too much, or at the I would love to grow it, but not at the expense of like me like sacrificing my entire life for it. So
Yeah,
I want to keep my wholesale operation. I want to really really grow my lending business. I feel that lending is where the true money is at, and it's very passive when you actually do it. Like I did 4 lending deals today, $4,000 each. I'll make $1,600 today. Just with the lending that I've done, $16 a day. I mean $1,600 a day. And then my big thing is growing my brand, growing my social media brand. That's gonna be my very very big thing, because that's the name of the game, social media. Like if you just worked on, I feel like if you just worked on your social media for the next year, you would not have problem with your deal flow. You will not have problem with people asking you for money, and you have more opportunities to network with other people than you ever will.
I agree. I agree. Do you do all your content yourself, or are you gonna bring someone in to help you with that?
I so right now I do all my recordings and all the editing. I just pay somebody thumbnails. So like that's my first hire, and then I'll
Yeah,
probably start hiring a lot more.
yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the money lending goes, so right now, mostly all you do is EMD, right?
Hmm.
Do you plan on doing like bigger private money lending opportunities as you grow that side of the business?
Not necessarily private money lending, but I want to buy next year. I want to buy 2 businesses.
Okay.
I have no clue what that even looks like. Like I don't even know if I'm capable of handling two businesses. But that's just some fun things that I want to do just for myself. Like I want to have cool resume. I want to have cool story. Hey, I bought this cool store for 60 grand. Like I want to have cool stories like that.
Yeah. I think it's like there's a lot of newbies that listen to these, and you're talking about doing lending and buying houses and wholesaling and now buying businesses. And I think that's why people don't gain traction, is because they try to do all of that at once. But I think it's important to recognize that you started one by one. You started wholesaling, right? And then you did gator lending, and now you're going to buy businesses. So I think it's just important. How important do you think it is for people to stay focused on one thing at a time? And do you have any like time periods, like focus on this for 90 days before you pivot or whatever?
This is what I would say is if you're a solo person, you have to be focusing on one thing at the same time. You don't
Yeah.
want to diversify your attention. Your attention is already diversified. You got 24 hours a day. You're sleeping 8 hours. You're taking a dump for 30 minutes. You drive for an hour. Like your attention is already diversified, and if you try to diversify a time that you already have allocated, so which is what let's say 4 hours, that 4 hours of your time you want to dedicate it to working one thing versus trying to split that 4 hours into 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour increment, right? So that's otherwise you're not going to grow traction in any of them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely did the same thing at first where I was trying to like pull these different lists, and I was doing it all by myself, and I would text and I would call and for dollars and like all the things, and I wasn't getting traction until I really started focusing on the one thing, and I've been focusing on that one thing for a long time now and have gotten good traction. And I do want to start. You mentioned affiliate marketing, and I've gotten a lot of interest in that lately, and like it's been a battle with myself of like, should I go and try to start doing something like that? How much time do I need to put into that? Or should I just stay focused, full on what I'm doing? Like, I think it's the battle of figuring out when is it a good time to add something else. Do you have any tips for that?
Mm, so this is what I have done, right? So I'll go and for the last 2 years I was working on my wholesale business, nothing else. I didn't have any lending business. I didn't even have any houses. for the last 2 years, I focused on my wholesale business. And once I got to a point where I had deal flow coming in like little somewhat consistently, I brought on a partner for her to manage the deal flow. And so now, like obviously, if I was doing 6 deals a month by myself at that time, she'll be doing like 2 to 3 deals a month by herself. But then I'm completely removed from that, right? So I think the time you replace yourself is when you bring on somebody else as a partner, or you bring on somebody as an employee, and it's still operating as at a 50%, 50 to 60% capacity. I feel like that's a pretty good time for you to transition out.
Yeah. Okay. With the affiliate marketing, I'm like personally curious of this. So I know that you do a lot of affiliate marketing for Subto or get like a lot of referral fees from that. Is there other businesses that you're doing that for? Or is that your main source?
Yeah, so I have affiliate for PropStream,
Okay.
and PropStream, and then PropStream is something that I was already using before I even became an affiliate. I had just recently became a affiliate with PropStream maybe like a few months ago, but then I was using it for the last 2 years and 9 months. So for me, like I would never affiliate for a product that I don't believe in, right? So for stuff too, I make a little bit of money. It's like I probably bring in one person a week at this point, just because people watch my YouTube and whatnot,
Yeah.
and that uh, and then that goes into funnel my social media.
Got it.
Yeah. So like I had a couple people that was like, hey, I'm creating a sales course. Do you want to help me sell it? And I'm like, you know what? I never even took your sales course, and I don't want to affiliate for a product that I don't use. I don't believe in.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something I've realized lately is I'm like, you can affiliate for so many products. I'm like, I use a bunch of, yeah, like PropStream or Batch Leads or I use some like Google extensions that I really like. And I'm like, I wonder if I can get affiliates for all these things that I already use, but I've just never thought like that until recently. And I think that a lot of people probably don't think like that. And that is another source of income that is somewhat passive, right? I mean, you just mention it on your social media or put it out there that you're using it. Is that pretty much what you're doing to gain that income?
Yeah, and we can talk about it more offline too, because I love to give you a detailed breakdown. But
Yeah.
like every time people see me using a product, they're people are just generally curious people, right? Like they were like, what is that? What is that? Is that PropStream? Oh, do you have an affiliate link for it? Right? Like I don't even need to really sell it. Like I just so on my YouTube, I have a couple of videos of me cold calling off right off the no equity the right off the PropStream, and I had a couple of people that signed up through that, and I never even sell it, right? So um yeah, most of the time I just people just watch what I do, which is reason why I'm focusing a lot more YouTube, because yes, I do make money off of YouTube. Like I make like 250 a month right now. But then the money is not on the YouTube ad income, in my opinion. And this is coming from like a 5,000 subscriber, not a lot,
Yeah.
but you make way more money off of other people's affiliates.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Saw recently that you rented out your house for $26,000. Is that right?
yeah. Oh my god, insane.
How? Like, how did you get that much in 2 months?
You know what? I So I bought that house 4 months ago. I lived in it, and I'm like, I got to a point where like I'm spending 5 grand a month on this house, just on mortgage, private money lender, insurance, pool, landscaping, cleaning, like electricity, water, sewer, whatever. And I'm like, I'm only home like 2 weeks out of the month, if that.
Mm,
So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna throw it up on Airbnb for $450 a night, and then within like 3 days, nobody even questioned anything. They like this. It was a third party. It was a construction company that hired a company to find houses for these people,
yeah.
and immediately like they didn't even question like, can we do like 400 a night? They literally booked it right away, and yeah. So right now we got 4 construction guys living in my house, and they're paying 26 grand,
Wow.
and I just moved out right there and then, and I'm moving into an apartment tomorrow.
Okay, got it. I was wondering, you have like 10 beds in your house. I'm like, why does Kevin have so many freaking beds in his house?
Yeah, I mean, I bought that house as an Airbnb. Like it was a
Got
failing Airbnb, or it was not a performing Airbnb, and the homeowner just sold it to me with all the furniture included. And I brought my own beds, thinking I didn't I want to use my own beds, and now I ended up with like 17 beds in my room.
That's so funny. So you're gonna stay in the area, just in an apartment? You're not gonna go travel and move around?
That was my initial plan. I'm supposed to be in Boston right now. I'm here in Phoenix because you know what, like I don't want to travel.
Really?
I want to work.
Why can't you work while you travel?
I can't. It's hard for me to do it. Like especially on if you're on the road for like 2 weeks at a time and you're carrying, like you gotta worry about like, hey, I gotta move into a hotel this time, and what am I gonna eat for lunch or whatever. Like I'd rather have a home base and then I'll go travel for somewhere for the weekend and I come right back and I'm right back to work mode. That's like I much prefer that than anything else.
Yeah, I know. I've like debated if I could live the nomad life, and I'm like, I don't know if I could. I mean, so I have a dog too, so I feel like that makes it so much harder. But I do feel like when you work from home and you're an entrepreneur, it is hard to like get up and move around all the time. It's hard to stay focused on your business.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I saw you were gonna go travel everywhere, and I was like, I'm kind of jealous. I was wondering what you were up to.
Yeah. I mean, I canceled like four of my flights just because. Well, not I didn't cancel all four of them. I had a bunch of one-way flight, and
Mm,
obviously I missed one, so I missed the other three
yeah,
because I this was my point of view. I spent the 2.5 years, almost 3 years, building what I have, and I have to make contents out of it while I have the the business going, right? Like I want to passively generate leads from all my YouTube channels and all my YouTube videos.
yeah,
So, and I just didn't feel comfortable taking such a long break.
yeah. Do you have a goal, like long term, of I want to be out of my business 100% in this many years or something, or are you just kind of going along and seeing where it takes you?
Going along and seeing where it takes me.
Yeah,
You know, I set goals and I hit it way earlier than I thought, and I'm like, okay, so what's next? And I just feel it just feels like a little video game for me. Like, okay, I just hit this milestone. Like, for example, 5,000 subscribers. I didn't think I'll hit it that fast. I thought I'll hit it like in beginning of like December. I hit it
yeah,
like almost a month earlier, and now I'm like, okay, can I get to ten thousand subscribers by December? Right, like I'm like doubling my goal, right? And you know, I I, I don't know. It's hard for me to predict where I'll be.
yeah. I feel that. I have trouble with setting like long term goals as well, like super long term goals. Do you have any tips or techniques that you use to set and accomplish your goals?
I have it written on my notes, and I look at it not every day, but probably every other day.
Okay. You have them broken down into like each area of your life?
Somewhat, somewhat. I'll try to read off of some of them to you. 100 Subto deals by the end of the year.
Check.
Well, not well. I checked that, but my goal was to hit 100 in 1 year, and I'm at 75. So
Got
like,
it.
I've done 100 plus. So my for the last 3 years. There's some affiliate income that I want to make. Like, and we can talk about this in private. I want to make 40 grand a month in my wholesale business. I don't think I've made 40 grand. I think the most I made was like almost 27, 30 grand, but I don't think I made 40 grand. I want to make 40 grand a month in my lending business. I've been consistently making like 5 grand a month on my lending business, but I want to make way more than that.
Yeah.
YouTube income, $1,000 a month. Like I'm at 250, 300. So I'm like getting there. So like, and then I have other personal goals, like in terms of how much weight I want to lose and things like that, how much I want to lift. But yeah, I look at it probably every other day, every 3 days or so, at least twice a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I struggle with that. I set goals and then I don't look at them for a long time. And it's not that I forget them, but I just think that you do lose focus if you're not constantly looking at them and reminding yourself what you're actually shooting at. Sometimes I just get in the rhythm of working and doing the same thing every single day, and I forget what I'm actually going after, or I lose a little bit of focus on that. Do you feel the
Yeah,
same?
yeah, yeah. But then but setting goals is also another skill, right? Like I
Yeah.
set goals for the last 4 or 5 years, and I'm getting better at setting them, and I'm getting better at hitting them too.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Setting goals is a skill. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
So
What's
what
your
do you need? You said what?
what are your goals? Curious.
Um, Next year, so I we have 3 rental units right now. Well, I guess my soonest goal is actually inspired by you. I am looking for a creative property in Dallas. I wanna move by the end of the year. So, I really feel like I'm running out of time, but I have faith that I'm gonna find something and get out of my hometown. So, I am super excited about that. That's my biggest one. That's like the top of my focus right now. And then just doing more deals consistently. I don't think that my deal flow has been a consistent number every single month. And honestly, I'm not great at tracking that either. So I guess two for one is getting better at tracking it and then getting better at hitting that number every month. So that, and then I want to buy more properties next year. We have 3 units right now. Um, I think I want to buy at least one a quarter, maybe two a quarter next year, just depending on what I feel like I can handle. But at least one a quarter is a goal for next year.
Yeah. I think two a quarter for you is very doable.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too.
Yeah. If you can finish off the year with 8 properties next year, I think that's a pretty solid goal for you. And then
Yeah,
obviously you have obviously you're gonna do way more than 8 deals. You're gonna wholesale a lot of them, and then you're gonna keep the best ones.
right. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm getting better at setting goals and really trying to focus on accomplishing those. What do you feel like you need in your business right now the most?
What do I need?
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a hard question.
Is there like a person that you feel like you need next or a skill set you need next? Like what's gonna help you accomplish these next goals that you're setting right now?
Oh, that's such a good one. If I were to choose one, I'll somewhere along the lines of social media management.
Yeah.
Some just somebody that has built other people's social media, and now they come to me saying, "Hey, I want to build your social media. You need to do X, Y, and Z," and they like literally tell me what to do, and I just do it. Because for
Yeah.
me, like I mean, I can create one reel a day, no, not a problem. I can make one post a day, not a problem. I can post 10 stories a day, not a single problem. But then I want to be more strategic about it at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I always get people and I don't know if it's just like a trick or what, but I get these accounts that'll DM me and they're like, "Can I help you grow your social media?" And you look at their account and they have like 200 followers. And I'm like, "Is this just like a scam or like this is horrible marketing right now?"
Yeah, it's like, okay, no, actually, I need to teach you how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like we need to switch roles right here.
I mean, one thing I'll tell you is, those videos that you used to do with those little mics, and you do like a property walkthrough.
Mhm.
I enjoyed them, and I don't see you posting them a lot anymore.
Yeah, I need to do them. I actually really enjoy those, and I do feel like I get the most responses when I do those. So, yeah, I need to do it for like every deal I close, just to give like a quick breakdown and storytelling. I think that it helps me develop that skill set of storytelling, and
Yeah,
then I think that it's valuable to people that watch, at least I hope it is.
yeah. No, yeah, I really enjoyed them because that's how I was like when you first did that video of you walking the house, and this was probably maybe like 9 months ago, 10 months ago, and I remember it, and
Mhm.
I remember you walking that house, and you did like the deal breakdown,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and you did a couple more afterwards, but then like I think if you keep doing them over and over and over again, like you consistently get deal flow from there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll start doing that.
Yeah,
I
and
love
yeah,
those
those
mics.
mics are super cheap too. They're
They
$20.
are, yeah. Everyone needs one that does content for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah. What I used to do, what I did before was I grab one of those mics and I'll put it on a spatula, so it's like a little mic holder. It's just a little funny, like you want to add a
Yeah.
little fun spice to it.
Yeah. I know you're supposed to put them on your shirts, but to me, I can never get it to sit right, and I don't like it. I'm just gonna hold it. It's just easier for me.
Yeah.
But well, cool. So that's maybe what you need in your business. What can people come to you right now for help with? what are you? What can people go to you for? What value can you provide to people?
So this is what I want with from for people that are watching this and that will watch it later down the road is you if you could please tell me on DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is Kevin Cho 12. If you can DM me on Instagram and tell me what you want to see on my YouTube channel, I will literally make every single video about it as long as it's within my knowledge.
Love it.
So yeah,
Go DM him. This is your YouTube and your Instagram on the screen, right?
yeah, Instagram and YouTube.
Cool. Is that the
Yeah.
best place to find you on Instagram?
But yeah, best I literally respond to every single one of my DMs, and and then I want to respond to other people's questions by sending my YouTube video links.
Yeah, I like that. It's so smart and it saves so much time if you had YouTube videos for all the major questions that you get all the time. Because for the most part, they're the same questions over and over again. So, like, are you in Project Forward or no?
No.
Okay. So in Project Forward, Case goes into detail about creating clones of yourself. I'm sure you've heard him talk about this for social media. That's basically what social media is for him, is creating clones. So, every question that has ever been asked about creative finance, he has a Instagram clip, a YouTube clip, something that answer those questions, and he doesn't have to spend real time answering them again. They're just there forever in the universe for people to go watch. So I think that is the power of social media, is creating those clones of yourself that will live forever. People can watch at any time, and you can maybe not spend so much time answering those questions or doing that thing that people want to see. You've already done it and it just lives there.
Yeah, that's my goal too. Is and you get all those all those followers, and it's like for me, like if you looked at my last like 20 videos, last 15 videos, I have like 7 of them are cold calling videos because I don't want ever want people to tell me, Kevin, how do you cold call?
Yeah.
Don't ever ask me that question again.
Yep. Just go to my YouTube. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Love.
So
Well, awesome. You are super inspiring to me. You said you're 23,
yeah,
right? We're the same age, so you inspire me a lot. You have these really big goals. You achieve all these big goals. So you're definitely someone that I look up to and hope to be running right beside here soon, goals wise. Hope that we get to hang out again soon. It was really cool chatting with you. It's been, I've, I guess, yeah, since April, May. So it's been a long time. So I really want to go back to Arizona. I loved Arizona so much. How is it during the winter there? It doesn't get very cold, right? Or does it?
it gets cold. I mean, I
It's
don't know
really
what
cold.
you're. For me, I think it's like 60 degrees today.
That's not bad.
Oh, it's not bad, but you come to summer, it's like 125. So like when it's like 90 degrees, you put on these little flannels, and you're like, okay, now I gotta put on like hand warmers, all this crap.
Yeah. I mean, Texas is pretty similar. We don't get quite as hot, but we're pretty close. Like, I think it got up to maybe 110 this year. And last week it was like 85. This week it dropped to 32. I'm like, what are you doing, Texas? It's,
32?
yes. Like, for
Oh
the
my god.
past couple of days, it's been freezing here. And then I think in a few days it's going to be 85 again. I'm like, Texas is so unpredictable. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't do 32. That's just too cold for me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Well, cool. Any last words for the audience? Anything you want to add in? Anything else you want to say?
Not anything for the audience, but I do want to say like episode 10, awesome job. I haven't even started my podcast. I
Kill
think
it.
you're doing such a great job with your podcast. Very creative name, and I just want to see where this will be a foundation where you can start building your affiliate stuff. Who knows? And
Yeah.
we can talk about it in private too.
Yeah.
So, but keep doing it consistently because I love to see it. I love to see you post more on Instagram. That's how people communicate. It's like I never comment on your stuff, but I
Yeah.
actually do see that. I'm like on Instagram like 24/7. So if you post it, I see it. So
Yeah.
keep posting, and you're awesome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on here. I think this
Yeah.
was super valuable for everyone, and I always enjoy chatting with you.
Yeah. And when you're in Arizona, text me because I may, I have a Airbnb, and if it's vacant, you can just come in and stay over there.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely want to plan another trip in the next 6 months or so.
Yeah.
Hopefully for an event or something, but for anything just to go hang out with everybody.
Right. Right.
Well, cool. Thanks for everyone that was active in the chat, hopped in here. I know Kevin brought you guys lots of value. Go DM him on Instagram. Go follow him or subscribe on YouTube. Tell him what he needs to be posting about, and he will do that for you guys. See you next time.
Bye bye. Bye everybody.